You're one emergency away from being broke, and here's why.
So obviously living in this country and in this economy sucks. Being an adult right now sucks.
Have you ever felt like just one bill can ruin your whole month?
I want you guys to follow me for a second, okay? You've been doing everything right. Showing up to work, paying your bills on time. Maybe you've even managed to put a little something aside, right? Not a lot, just something. Enough to make you feel like you're actually getting a grip on life. You know what I'm saying? Enough to just be able to actually breathe a little bit. And then something happens. Your car breaks down. Not a small fix, but it's actually a real issue here. Transmission, engine, something that may cost $2,000 or $3,000 that you absolutely do not have. Or you may get a medical bill from 6 months ago that you thought insurance covered and it turns out it really didn't. Or your hours get cut at your job, or the landlord may raise the rent randomly again, or your kid may need something urgent and there's no waiting on it. It only takes one thing, guys, one thing, and literally everything that you have spent the last year carefully building, that small cushion, the slightly less stressed version of your life, the feeling that maybe you were finally getting ahead and you saw the light at the end of the tunnel, all that is just gone, that snap of a finger in one moment, guys. Not because you did anything wrong either, but because life actually happened and you didn't have enough margin to absorb it. And that's not a personal failure. That's not on you as a person, because the reality of what financial precarity actually feels like from the inside right now in America is not the exception. It's not the exception, okay? That's not personal failure, okay? This is honestly the reality of what financial precarity actually feels like from the inside, okay? And right now in America, that is not the exception. That is the rule. Nearly 60% of Americans cannot cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without going into debt or borrowing money, okay? Not 10, not 20, nearly 60% of Americans right now. That's more than half the country, okay? More than half the country is literally one car repair away, or one medical bill, or one broken appliance away from financial crisis. And that's not a nation of financially irresponsible people either. That is a nation where the math has literally been broken and the rules have changed, okay, that most people simply never had a real opportunity to build a safety net in the first place. Here's what I want people to understand about how we even got to this point, okay? This did not happen by accident. Wages have been kept artificially low for decades, while the cost of everything that was supposed to give people stability, housing, healthcare, education, and childcare even went through the roof. I mean, the result of the workforce of people who are technically employed, technically surviving, and completely without the buffer that would allow them to actually live. And they call this financial wellness. These people have whole workshops about it. Budgeting seminars, apps that track your spending, tips for building your emergency fund, as if the problem is that people don't know that they should save money. People know that they should save money, okay guys? They just don't have any money left to save after the bills are paid. You cannot budget your way out of wages that were never designed to give you even a surplus. You cannot bootstrap, that's how they call it. You can't really bootstrap your way out of wages that were engineered to keep you just stable enough to keep working, but never stable enough to stop being afraid. If you're one emergency away from losing everything right now, and statistically speaking, there is a very real chance that you are, I want you to hear something, okay? You are not bad with money, at least I hope not. You were not irresponsible either. But you know, you're not even failing at adulthood, honestly. You are a person trying to truly build something solid on ground that keeps shifting beneath you, okay? You are navigating a system to where the margin for error was removed so long before you showed up, and where the people who removed it, right, have the audacity to lecture you about financial discipline. That fear that you carry around, that quiet background dread that something is going to go wrong and you won't be able to handle it, that fear is not weakness, okay? That is completely rational responses to genuinely precarious circumstances. And I don't think the problem is people's mindsets either. I think it's the reality underneath it. And Americans are truly one emergency away from losing everything, okay? And the emergency is not the problem, okay? The emergency just reveals it. The real problem is a system that left millions of people with nothing to fall back on, and then wonders why they are screwed.
Our power company just cut off our power because we can't afford to pay $1,000 a fucking month. I don't know what we're supposed to do. There's no other company we can work with. This is the only one where we live that's available, and it's so fucking expensive. Are we great again yet? Are we fucking great again yet? Every month my family puts in hundreds of dollars to attempt to pay this money, and we can't pay it in full, and so they finally cut it off. And the wildest part is, we get help with our bills. Because of how poor we are, we qualify for help and we get help with our bills. So they are paying some of that money for us, and that is still how high it is. I don't know what we're gonna do. Our food is gonna go bad. And we already struggle with having food and stuff and having enough money for food every single month. And oh my god. I use heat therapy for my heating pad because I have chronic pain. Oh my god.
60% of Americans could not come up with $1,000 for an emergency. People do not have emergency funds. Almost 70% of Americans say that money is their primary source of anxiety. Buy now, pay later services like Klarna and Afterpay are on the rise, and people are using them primarily on Instacart and DoorDash for groceries. People are using payment plans for food. 1 in 4 Americans have saved nothing for retirement. Auto loan debt, so for cars, has reached an all-time high. It's at $1.3 trillion. And credit card debt is also at an all-time high. So when most Americans are sharing the same economic struggles, is it still just user error? Is the answer still work harder, or just budget, or pull yourself up by your bootstrap? Or can we actually listen to the trends and patterns for once and realize that this is entirely systemic?
The publication Entrepreneur did a report that said 57% of Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency expense. 57%. And it also says that more than 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 60%, like, isn't that crazy? Like, we often see people that may have a nice home, maybe have a nice car, maybe, you know what I'm saying, dress really well, but people are really broke. Like, they really, like, if something were to happen where, like, they get sick, they get a hospital bill, you know, they need a new tire or something, or multiple new tires. If things really hit the fan, a lot of people wouldn't know what to do. They don't have the liquid cash. They don't have the assets. They simply don't have the resources. According to Bankrate's 2024 annual emergency savings report, 57% of Americans will not be able to cover a $1,000 emergency expense. That's so wild. In fact, 25% said they would have to put the expense on a credit card. And 4% of respondents said they would have to take out a personal loan to make up the cost. $1,000. $1,000? $1,000. It's really tough out here. Watch as well as pray, because people are really struggling.
I went to the emergency room roughly 2 weeks ago, and it was because I had severe abdominal pain, so they ended up telling me I had a cyst in my ovaries. But tell me why I just got my bill today, and it is $15,472. Mind you, I waited in that emergency room for 5 hours, and all they did was 1 blood test, 1 urine sample, and I guess an x-ray of, like, my stomach. But, like, what? $15,000? Are you kidding me? I am not that rich. I am not that rich, honey. I can understand if I had something, like, really critical where it required surgery, or it was something, like, major, which is why the bill would be that expensive. But, like, literally all they told me was, this is what you have, and take some Tylenol. We can't do surgery on it because it's, like, no, the cyst isn't large enough. So then I went home still feeling pain, only for them to tell me just take Tylenol, basically. I have insurance, thank God, so I didn't have to pay that 15 grand, and my insurance covered, like, most of it, and I just have to pay 2,000 out of pocket. But 2,000 ain't cheap either, and the healthcare system needs to be so much more affordable, because if me going to get seen just for that costs that much, I can only imagine how much people are paying for something that's, like, a lot more major or critical, because what the hell is that? It's literally crazy to me. I have no words for the healthcare system. It's like, absolutely insane.
When it rains, it pours. I'm going to preface this by saying that I know that we are privileged. My husband has a good job. For what I do, 2 days a week, I make decent money. We have money in our savings account. But here's all the things that have gone wrong in the last week at our house, or like bills that were kind of unexpected. Our dishwasher broke last week. The service man came out to tell us what was wrong with it. It needs a new electronic panel. It was $80 for that service call, just to tell us what it needed. He goes, cash or check, $80. I was like, I guess cash. That part is in and is coming tomorrow, and that is about $240 to buy the part and get it installed. So that's the first $320 we have to spend. When you turn on our faucets, the water pressure is so high, it comes out like a waterfall. My father-in-law, again, we're privileged, is in construction, and we need a new, mediator. I don't know. We need 2 new things for that. And he added that up, and it's going to be about $250. Labor's free because he's wonderful. $320 on the dishwasher, $250 on our water. Today, my husband goes to get his oil changed on his car because we're going on vacation next week. He needs a new car battery. He didn't get it yet. We looked it up. It's about $200. All things we have to get. There's not an option. I guess the dishwasher's kind of optional, but not for me. And lastly, this is just unexpected because obviously you always get an electric bill, but it has been so damn hot in Pittsburgh that our air conditioning is constantly going. The last 2-3 weeks have been ridiculously humid and over 90 degrees. And my husband just logged in for our electric bill, $300. So a cool $1,070 we were not planning on. Thankfully, I got paid for 2 brand retainers yesterday. TikTok shop on the other account's going pretty well. And if we really have to, we can pull out a savings. It's just wild. When it rains, it pours.
Have you ever felt like just one bill can ruin your whole month? You've got all of your bills and expenses planned out, and then just one stupid unexpected thing pops up, like a car repair or a doctor bill or something for the house that needs to be fixed. And now suddenly your entire month is thrown off. Because that's how I was living. I was barely managing the way it was, but it seemed like there was always something that came up that set me back. And that's exhausting to live like that and always have to rob Peter to pay Paul. And I got to a point where I knew I needed some breathing room. I needed another way to make money without having to get another job. That's when I found this step-by-step program online that taught me the skills to make money online. And it was perfect for me because I didn't need any experience or tech skills or a social media following. All I needed was my phone, Wi-Fi, and about 2 hours scattered throughout my day. And now I finally feel like one unexpected bill doesn't completely throw me into a tizzy because now I'm creating that cushion. I don't know what your situation is, but if you've been feeling this kind of pressure too and want more information about what I'm doing, just comment ready and I'll send you more details about the program I used to get started.
So obviously living in this country and in this economy sucks. Being an adult right now sucks. You can't buy a house, your job doesn't pay enough, and everything costs too much money. So obviously I'm a broke bitch and I have learned how to live as a broke bitch. But something that pisses me off about it so much is the fact that I grew up middle class with one working parent. I grew up in a big farmhouse in the middle of nowhere on 12 acres of land, and I have 3 siblings. My dad worked at an auto factory, and my mom did not go back to working until I was in high school. And we were incredibly comfortable. We were not rich by any means. I didn't have the fanciest, the newest, whatever, but I still got nice things. We still went on vacation. We were very comfortable. And I can't even dream of achieving that level of comfortability in this day and age. Even if I had a partner, like me and one singular partner, we would still likely struggle to be able to afford the type of life that I grew up with, which was moderate, middle of the road. That middle of the road is now both parents making $150K. I cannot even imagine as a zookeeper that I will ever in my life have an opportunity to even have a job that hits 6 figures, but at this day and age, you almost need that to even survive.